During the Second World War, thousands of vehicles were captured and used by all sides of the conflict. Today we're going to speak specifically about the German collection of trophy vehicles, as it is undeniably the most varied. In War Thunder, the German tech tree features 6 captured tanks of different types and origins. Let's talk about each of them in detail and discuss ways that you can unlock their full potential in battle. This Soviet KV-1E was seized by the Finns during the Winter War. It received a new designation, KV-1B, as well as a new camouflage scheme. It has all the advantages that Soviet tanks of the era were known for, most notably good armor and decent mobility. The gun of the KV-1B is certainly not the punchiest, but thanks to additional armor, the vehicle can be an excellent shield for its allies that protects them from enemy fire again and again. Get yourself a mate with a powerful gun, keep them alive, and your duo will be very effective in combat. Another captured vehicle that can be found in the German tech tree is an improved variant of the Soviet KV-1. Say hi to the KW-1C-756R. R here stands for Russian, by the way. German engineers fitted the tank with a commander cupola and a 75mm KWK-40 cannon, thus eliminating the main weakness of the Soviet original that had a pretty weak gun. All in all, this version of the KV-1 doesn't have any glaring flaws. It has it all. Good armor on par with the Tiger 1, a punchy cannon with a pretty quick reload, and excellent mobility to boot, for a heavy tank, of course. On a battlefield, the KW-1C is basically unstoppable, and can easily lead an armored spearhead to victory. The KW-2-754R is the second variant of the Soviet KV tank, fitted with a 1940 turret and armed with a 152mm gun. Unlike its Soviet counterpart, this German vehicle has a commander cupola and an empty bustle rack. Germans used this tank to destroy pillboxes and other forms of fortified emplacements, so it mainly fires semi-armor piercing and high explosive rounds. The latter, especially if you're lucky, are powerful enough to eliminate several vehicles at once, but there is a high price to pay for this kind of firepower. The gun takes literal ages to reload. As a result, the tank is not well suited for solo play. If you want it to be truly effective, you have to work with your allies or even have a well-coordinated squad. If you don't want to be dependent on others to that degree, take a look at the T-34-747R, a modified version of a captured T-34. This German version of a legendary Soviet tank features a unique commander cupola, track armor on the sides, as well as additional applique armor in the front. Thanks to the additional protection, APHE rounds fired by most of the vehicle's main opponents are no longer a threat. But keep in mind that the turret ring and the mantlet are still vulnerable to enemy fire. We suggest that you should always try to expose your well-protected hull first, so that the enemy wastes their shot, and only then get out of cover to deliver your own blow. There was also an American vehicle that was used by Germans at one point. We are talking about the M4-748A. Its main difference from the standard M4A2 was that it got a new coat of paint and was fitted with a smoke grenade launcher mounted in the turret. The latter will save your life, and on more than one occasion. It's very handy for creating an opening for a hasty retreat, or for making your advance more safe by closing off kill zones and dangerous venues of approach. All in all, this version of the Sherman is very versatile. Its speed, mobility, and its stabilized gun work wonders in all sorts of combat scenarios. Finally, the last trophy on our list was originally operated by the British. This is the Panzerkampfwagen Churchill, the third model of the well-known infantry tank, armed with a punchy 6-pounder. The gun hits hard enough to penetrate the defenses of all vehicles that it might run into, but not very many of them can actually hurt the Churchill. Compared to captured Soviet vehicles, this tank is not very mobile, so it's a good idea to choose a lane on the battlefield and stick to it. If you ever bite off more than you can chew, use some or all of your 30 smoke grenades. That's more than enough smoke to retreat to safety. Playing captured vehicles that are part of the German tech tree requires a certain degree of flexibility. You have to be able to improvise and change your plan quickly, depending on the situation at hand. Every vehicle that we mentioned in this video has its strengths and flaws, but remember, it's the way you use them that makes or breaks the battle. What do you think about German trophy vehicles, though? Share your thoughts in the comments below.